Good evening, council, staff, and visitors. Thank you for joining us for the August 20th, 2026 regular meeting of the Fair Oaks Ranch City Council. The time is 6:30 p.m. and we'll begin with a roll call. When I call your name, please say here are present. Mayor Maxton. Here. Councilmember Kinney. Here. Councilmember Roden.
Here.
Councilmember Olvera.
Here.
Councilmember Pearson. Here. Councilmember Parker is not present. And Councilmember Swarrick.
Here.
With 6 of 7 members present, a quorum is declared.
Thank you, Amanda. And would everybody please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Wow. As a reminder to everybody that's here tonight, these meetings are live broadcast, and would like to welcome everybody that's joining us here in the council meeting and all those that are joining us by live broadcast tonight. If you do get an opportunity to speak as part of tonight's meeting, I ask that all comments be made from the podium up here, and please use the microphone. The reason for that is if you speak from your chairs, the individuals that have tuned in by live broadcast cannot hear the comments. And so by saying at the microphone, they can hear what's going on as part of the meeting. And if you do get an opportunity to speak, I ask that you introduce yourself. If you're a resident, whether you're a resident of Fair Oaks Ranch or not, or with an organization that's here as part of tonight's meeting, what organization that you are from. And to kick it off, we had citizens to be heard. We did not have anybody sign up as part of citizens to be heard tonight. Is there anybody here that didn't get an opportunity to sign up that would like to speak? Okay. And we have one presentation tonight. Scott, Robert, and Rachel, if y'all would join me so I'm not lonely up here.
Where do you want us? Over here?
Yeah, over here's good. Everybody can see you. So Building and Code Staff Appreciation Day is September 1st. And we present these recognitions days to highlight the important work being done behind the scenes every day, and also to recognize the extraordinary efforts and compliment the efforts that y'all have done that complement our city staff. And so tonight we're going to recognize Scott Davis, our building official, Rachel Brown, the Building Codes Administrative Assistant, and Robert Ortiz, our Code Compliance Officers. Now, our building codes and code compliance teams play an essential role in protecting the safety, the health, and the quality of life here in the city of Fair Oaks Ranch. Every day, they perform their responsibilities with professionalism, knowledge, fairness, and a strong commitment to serving the residents of our community. Our Building Codes Department helps ensure that new and refurbished buildings are constructed to provide safe environment for the residents of Fair Oaks Ranch. I have personally witnessed their interaction with builders, and each time I'm impressed by the professionalism and the dedication that they bring to their work. There is no doubt that their focus is on ensuring that building codes and requirements are followed. But what stands out is that they go beyond simply conducting an inspection or checking items off of a list. They are willing to work with builders, explain requirements, and help find practical ways to achieve the standards that are mandated by regulations. That approach makes a difference. It does make a difference. And they're not simply enforcing codes, they're helping people understand the importance of those codes and working with them to achieve the best possible outcomes for our community. Now, code compliance is not always an easy job, right, Robert? It requires patience, it requires consistency, communication, and sometimes you may have difficult conversations. Robert has handled these responsibilities in a highly respectful manner in all that you do. His work helps maintain the standards that protect our neighborhoods and preserve the quality of life we value here in our city. Scott, Rachel, and Robert, tonight we recognize each of you for the important work you do every day. Your efforts may often happen behind the scenes, and they do happen behind the scenes a lot, but the impact of your work is seen throughout our community. So I personally, our city council, and the remainder of the city staff want to thank you tonight for what you accomplish every day. Your professionalism and your commitment to Fair Oaks Ranch is extraordinary. Thank you. And I do have a proclamation that we'll present to them from the City of Fair Oaks Ranch, whereas Building and Code Staff Appreciation Day is celebrated every year on September 1st. And whereas building and code staff are essential not only in the industries in which they work, but to society as well by ensuring that buildings and infrastructure are safe for everyday use by our residents, by our businesses, and our patrons. And whereas detailed review of building plans and the inspection process involved to achieve compliance help institute a path forward that keeps the project running efficiently, which reduces cost and ensures a safe structure is built in a timely manner. And whereas the code staff review, inspect, and enforce safe building practices in a variety of construction and critical infrastructure components, including structural, electrical, mechanical, plumbing, fire systems, accessibility, and energy as they apply to housing, commercial buildings, and public work infrastructure. And whereas Building Code and Staff Appreciation Day is intended to remind the public about the critical role of our community's code officials, our largely unknown guardians of public safety. Now and therefore, the City Council of the City of Fair Oaks Ranch does hereby designate September 1st, 2026 as Building and Code Staff Appreciation Day. And I urge all citizens to express their appreciation to our city's building and code staff who work diligently within our community every day. And above that, when you have an opportunity, I would ask all to reach out to them on September 1st and thank them for what they do every day. It is truly appreciated by myself and by the City Council, so thank you. Did you want to say anything?
Yeah, just a little short.
Oh, I think,
We can do this.
are we going to do a picture? Here, let's do a
Do the
picture.
picture.
Here, you can hold.
Okay.
You're the important one.
How about that?
I do. All yours.
All I wanted to say was I'd really like to thank my team. Rachel, her attention to detail really helps the office run well, and she is truly a public servant. She cares for all the citizens. And Robert is a steady, as the mayor said, it can be a tough job, and when Robert's dealing with tough situations, he is a cool professional, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Fully agree. Thanks, sir. Thanks, Rob. Thank y'all for being here tonight.
Thank you.
With that, we'll move on to our consent agenda tonight. We have 4 items on the consent agenda. First is approval of the August 6, 2026 regular city council meeting minutes. Second, approval of Councilmember Kenny's absence from August 6 meeting. Approval of Councilmember O'Vera's absence from the August 6 meeting. And approval of Councilmember Swart's absence also from the August 6 meeting. Is there any council member that would like to remove any of these items from consent to consideration? And with that, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
From Keith, and a second.
Second.
From Emily. All in favor of approval of the consent agenda, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Consent
Agenda is approved. And now we'll move on to our consideration items tonight. We have three consideration items on the agenda. First is the consideration and approval of an ordinance authorizing the issuance of City of Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas, combination tax and limited pledge revenue certificates of obligations, Series 2026, and providing for the payment of said certificates by the levy of an ad valorem tax upon all taxable property within the city, and further securing said certificates by a lien on a pledge of the pledged revenues of the system and other matters in connection therewith. And Summer, you going to kick this one off for us?
I will. Good evening, Mayor and Council. For the record, I am Summer Fleming, Director of Finance. So the item tonight is an ordinance for consideration authorizing the sale of the city's certificates of obligation for the water and wastewater capital improvements. This is the third issuance in the city's multi-year financing plan for the utility capital improvement program. The first issuance occurred in September 2024, followed by the second issuance in September 2025. And most recently, on June 4, Council authorized the notice of intention for this third issuance with an amount of approximately $7 million, of which the proceeds will continue funding approved utility projects as they move through design and construction. So the city received competitive bids this morning, and Andrew Friedman and Jack McLiney with Samco Capital are here to review those results and the recommended award. But before I turn it over to Andrew, I do want to point out that this ordinance requires only one reading. State law requires council to authorize the sale on the same day the bids are received so the interest rates can be locked in. And Texas Local Government Code allows the ordinance to be adopted on the single reading for that purpose, rather than following the city's normal multiple reading process. But with that, I'll turn it over to Andrew Friedman.
Thank you, Summer. Andrew Friedman with Samco Capital Markets, joined by Jack McLiney, excuse me. He's handing out the bid results for both the certificates of obligation and the general obligation bonds. For simplicity's sake, we'll cover both of these agenda items together, if that's all right with you all, and then you'll vote individually both on the COs, this agenda item, and the general obligation bonds, which are the next. But as Ms. Fleming alluded to, we received bids at 10 a.m. this morning on both the COs and the general obligation bonds. Both have a 20-year maturity, and we got great feedback. We got 5 bids on the certificates of obligation and 4 bids from the general obligation bonds, both won by TD Securities. So very pleased with those results. I'm going to let Jack run through the numbers with you all, but just to say, we went through the bond rating review process just as we have each time we issue, and the city continues to enjoy a AA+ credit rating. So that's the second highest credit rating that you can have, and we are on par with the U.S. government, and we don't have $40 trillion of debt. So really a tip of the hat to you all for your keen stewardship, for Mr. Huisengay and Ms. Fleming for the very tight administration that they run. S&P and bond investors recognize that you all are doing the right things, and it helps bring down our borrowing cost to the extent possible. So with that, I'll let Jack run through the results for you.
Mayor, Council, good seeing you all again tonight. As Andrew said, my name is Jack McLiney with Samco Capital Markets. In front of you, you have 3 handouts, 2 of which are summaries of bids of the COs and the GOs, and I'm going to start with the COs. As Andrew mentioned, we received 5 bids. These bids came in from all across the state: Dallas, Boston, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and New York City as well. The lowest bidder was TD Financial Products at an interest rate of 4.22%. On this other packet, you have the final numbers. You'll see that the par amount that is in front of you to approve tonight for the certificates of obligation is $6,945,000. That means that the purchasers paid a premium to get your bonds. That really, as Andrew stated before, it's a testament to the work that Scott and Summer are putting in behind the scenes that a lot of your citizens don't get to see, as well with the work that you all as a council have done and councils ahead of you. On the general obligation bonds, we received 4 bids. Again, a lot of the same bidders we saw on the COs, we saw on the GOs, and the low bid came again from TD Financial Products with a true interest cost of 4.25%. With that, if you all have any questions, I'm open to answering those at this time. Samco's recommendation would to be accept TD Financial Products bid on both the certificates of obligation and the general obligation bonds.
Any questions from council? Good.
I'm good. I read through all this.
Any questions from anyone here tonight? Then with the motion, the agenda item that we spoke about was with the certificates of obligation. And can I get a motion to adopt an ordinance authorizing the issuance of the City of Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas Combination Tax and Limited Pledge Revenue Certificates of Obligation, Series 2026?
So moved.
From Ruben, and a second
Second.
from Keith. Any other discussion from council? The motion on the table, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion is approved. The second consideration item, which we briefly already touched on, is the consideration and approval of an ordinance authorizing the issuance of City of Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas General Obligation Bonds, Series 2026, levying a continuing direct annual ad valorem tax within the limits prescribed by law for the payment of the bonds and other matters in connection therewith. And Summer, do you have anything else to?
The only thing I'll say is that this is the second issuance of general obligation bonds from the $16 million authorization approved by voters in May 2024 for improvements to Dietz Elkhorn Road, Battle and Tents, Rolling Acres Trail, and Ammon Road. And so the bonds are being issued in 3 separate series to align financing with the timing of the projects. Again, the first issuance was in September 2024. This is the second issuance tonight, and then we plan on having a third and final issuance, likely will be next year. That's it.
Thanks, Summer.
Sure.
Any questions?
Summer, what was the interest rate on the first issuance, do you recall?
That I do not recall.
Okay.
Give me a minute, I'll find it.
Okay, I'm just curious how they compare with the two. Yeah.
For GO bonds, that was in September 24, so I don't recall that one. I actually don't remember for COs last year either, though.
Any other questions? Any questions from anyone here tonight?
Gotcha.
Then with that, can I get a motion to adopt an ordinance, correction. Can I get a motion to adopt an ordinance authorizing the issuance of the City of Fair Oaks Ranch, Texas General Obligations Bonds, which are Series 2026?
So moved.
From Keith, in a second.
Second.
Was that Dale? Any other discussion from council? With the motion on the table, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved. Thanks, Summer.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, would you mind if I got some signatures for you so you can get these purchases?
Sure.
Wait 1 second. There's going to be 2 copies of each of these, one for y'all's record and then one for us to send out to the purchasers so they can start selling bonds.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And our last consideration item on the agenda tonight is the consideration and possible action approving a resolution for the transition of health benefits providers for medical, dental, and vision benefits administration.
All right, good evening, Mayor and City Council. I am Joanna Merrill, and I'm the Director of Human Resources here at the city. Tonight's item requests approval to transition the city's medical, dental, and vision coverage from Cigna to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas for the 2026-27 plan year. And this item can be found on page 112 of the agenda packet. So for tonight, Cigna initially proposed a significant increase over our current rates, resulting in a decision to have Hub, which is our benefit consultant, issue a new competitive request for proposals on the city's behalf. The city did receive 10 responses across the various benefit categories, out of which only 4 of those proposals offered medical coverage. So this slide compares the 3 most viable options. As you can see, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas proposed a 1.9% increase to medical, compared with the highest option being Cigna's proposed increase of 39%. Dental costs did increase under Blue Cross Blue Shield, but since medical coverage represents the largest portion of benefit spending, the substantially lower increase outweighed the higher dental cost when the full package was evaluated. Now, overall, Blue Cross Blue Shield provided the strongest balance of that cost containment benefit value and employee impact by limiting the medical increases to only the 1.9% and allowing the city to avoid Cigna's proposed increase of 39% over the current year's rates. Now, as discussed on the previous slide, cost was definitely a significant factor, but it was not the only factor considered when evaluating the benefit proposals. Under the recommended Blue Cross Blue Shield proposal, the city would be adopting a new PPO and an HMO option. The HMO includes lower deductibles, lower out-of-pocket maximums, which improve the value of the plan for employees that select that option. And Blue Cross Blue Shield also provides a broader provider access network that was generally consistent with the city's existing network under Cigna. There were minor differences involving certain radiological providers that Blue Cross Blue Shield did provide an enhancement for, and it also was going to provide us with a 4-year rate guarantee for our vision coverages as well. Now, while Cigna would have increased the medical rates by 39% and continued the current PPO and EPO plans without any significant enhancements or incentives to offset the spike in rates, Every Health also did come in with a competitive increase. However, the plans under that included significantly higher deductibles, out-of-pocket maximums, coinsurance costs across all coverage lines, while substantially changing the provider network that would create significant disruption for our employees to be able to maintain their current providers. Now, based on the full evaluation of each proposal, staff is recommending transitioning medical, dental, and vision coverage to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas. The city would remain with Renaissance for our basic life, voluntary life, short and long-term disability plans. We would also maintain iSolved for our flexible spending account and COBRA administration, Alliance Work Partner for our employee assistance program, FinPath for financial wellness, and then AFLAC for our voluntary supplemental benefits. Transitioning to Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas would allow the city to avoid Cigna's proposed 39% medical rate increase and limit that to just the 1.9%, promoting that responsible stewardship of public funds while maintaining competitive employee needs, benefit needs, so that we can continue to recruit and retain a qualified workforce here at the city. Now, as such, staff is recommending approval of the resolution authorizing the city manager to execute agreements for the implementation of benefits as proposed. And if there are any questions from City Council tonight, I'm more than happy to answer anything you have for me.
What's the overall effect on the budget switching to Blue Cross?
Absolutely. So with the current plan, the 1.9% increase would be about an estimated $3,600 increase over last year's total plan costs, which is about $83,000 below what the current proposed budget had planned for. So we would be saving money from what we proposed.
3,600 for the year?
Correct.
Good question.
You said they gave a rate lock for 4 years?
On the vision coverage, yes.
On the vision
Yeah.
coverage.
Medical under the requirements has to be reviewed every year.
Every year, okay, thanks.
And y'all we just moved to Cigna last year, right?
We've been on it for 2 consecutive years now, yeah.
Anybody else? Y'all are good? Anybody else attending the meeting tonight? Any questions? With that, can I get a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the East City Manager to execute agreements for the implementation of medical, dental, and vision through Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas, and renewal of agreements for basic life, voluntary life, short and long-term disability, FSA, COBRA and COBRA administration, Alliance Work Partners, FinPath, and AFLEC for the city's supplemental benefits provider.
So moved.
Jonathan, and a second
Second.
from Emily. Any further discussion or comments from council?
Like I say, thank you to staff for going through all this. I know for me, this was like one of the things that I hated the most, going through it. Eds did a really good job with it and came out with a good deal, so thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, thank you.
Anybody else? Motion on the table, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved. Thank you, Joanna. And that completes all the business items that we had on the agenda for tonight. Is there any council members that have any announcements that they would like to make?
Nothing.
All right, I have a couple of announcements. Construction on Dietz Elkhorn Road is scheduled to begin on September 8th, and as we briefed earlier, was expected to take approximately 12 months to complete. A reminder that the eastbound lane will remain open throughout the construction. And I recognize that this project will create temporary delays and inconveniences for motorists and nearby residents. I just ask that for your patience and your understanding until we get this project completed. In the month of September, we'll have 3 public hearings for City Council. On September 3rd, there'll be a review of updates to the city's Unified Development Code. These include proposed changes addressing several areas, including outdoor lighting, hemp and kratom retailers, data centers, religious institutions, manufactured homes, and political signs at polling places. And these proposed changes are intended to ensure the city's development regulations continue to address the needs of a growing community while maintaining the character and quality of life that we expect out of the city of Fair Oaks Ranch and make it a special place to live in. So that was one of the public hearings. On September 17th, we'll hold 2 public hearings. City Council will have 2 public hearings, first to review this year's proposed budget, and then we'll have a second public hearing following it to review the proposed tax rate. And then the last announcement I have is National Night Out is October 6th. It's still a ways off, but for those neighborhoods that would like to participate as part of that evening's activities, I ask that you reach out to the police department and so that they can get you on the schedule for that night. And we'll follow up with more later on as we get closer to the event. Scott, anything I left out, or
Further.
are you sure?
Positive.
Is there any council member that has any items that they would like to add to a future agenda? All right. Amanda, anything we missed? Anything we need to Sure. Scott, anything from you? I have 7 p.m. and we are adjourned.